Hi friends, thanks for joining in today's video. This will actually be part 3 of 2023 Christmas tree ornament decoration kind of themes. I've got 3 trees, so I do one in my main bedroom, which this year was a black and white theme. That video is up and it'll be part 1. And then today's video is part 2, which is this pastel and candy type theme and vibe for my guest bedroom. And then my last one is a boho type theme for my main living room. But let's go ahead and get started for the pastels. Let's jump right into these DIYs. We're going to start with the first part of the tree, which is the garland. And I got three garlands, 2 from Hobby Lobby and 1 from Michael's, because I wasn't able to get all of them at the same store. They were sold out. So I got these 3, and then I used those vase fillers that you saw from Dollar Tree. And I'm basically going to double my garlands so that I have 6 in total by just using these vase fillers. And now these are styrofoam, so I just used a needle and thread and just threaded this yarn, or I used some baking twine actually, just to string along your new garland. Once the garland is added to my tree, I then added some pink and blue and silver bulbs or ornaments that I got from over the years. Some of these are from Dollar Tree, some of them are from Michael's, just kind of all over. And I don't forget to add them into the very center of the tree as well as the outside to make your tree look way more full. And then we're going to add these tinseled filled ornaments to the very center of the tree, usually by a light, to give your tree so much sparkle and beautifulness. And onto the first ornament DIY. I picked up these ceramic ornaments, snowflake ornaments from Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off, so I got 2 for $1. We're then just going to remove these tags or hanging ribbon and paint these guys in this beautiful chestnut color. Once those are all dry, then we're going to take some of this slick fabric paint, or you can use puffy paint. This is just what I had on hand. And we're going to make designs to make it look kind of like icing on a cookie, on a gingerbread cookie. This next DIY is super simple. We're just going to take some ornaments that were originally red. I got these ones from Hobby Lobby for $8.99, half off, and then these ones from At Home for $2.99. And I'm just going to remove some of the paint and glitter from these round ornament candies. And once I've got all the extra glitter off of it, we're going to paint these all white, basically just to give them a base coat so that they can paint the lighter colors over top and the red doesn't peek through so much. And then we're going to do the same with these ones, just paint the red all white. And then, like I said, once the red is all painted, we are going to go over them with our pastel colors. And these next DIY ornaments are also gingerbread men and women, of course. And I just got these ceramic ornaments from Hobby Lobby again for $1 for 2. And we're going to remove those little ribbons again and then paint them the same chestnut brown. Now once they are all painted, we're going back over with the slick paint and painting the designs however we want. For one that I already did off to the side, I kind of made it look like the Shrek gingerbread. It may look better when I actually paint it. But for this one, I added a little bow at the top, and then I also added a little dress that she wears. And I basically, with the dress, I added some Mod Podge through the whole dress and then added some sequins sparkle on top of that to let the sequins stay, and it just kind of made the dress give a really cute design. And for this next one, we are going to do these super cute cupcake ornaments. We're going to take some silicone cupcake holders. These ones are heart-shaped, but I think the circle round ones would have been so much easier. And we're going to insert a little knot string. We're going to do that on the inside and then wrap it around to the back and pull through again so that the string is coming up into it. And so then we're going to insert that same string into the foam ball after we cut off a little bit of the edging so that the silicone and the ball form can attach. I tried using hot glue and the silicone just made it fall right off. I also used E6000 and same thing. So this worked so much better. Then I made a little loop and tied it off so that we can hang it. And then we're going to cut some silk fabric. This one is actually, I think, satin fabric from just Walmart, super cheap kind. And we're going to cut it into 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares. And then we're going to take those squares and insert them into the foam using either a pencil or what I'm using right here is a knitting needle. And then we're going to wrap the entire foam ball that is shown with this fabric. Once we've got that all done, then I'm going to just hot glue some of these cute little beads to it to make it kind of look like sprinkles. And then I did a pink one with these pastel colors, and then a red one with some red and white sprinkles. And for this next one, we are going to be making this kind of icing sprinkled on top, kind of donut-y looking ornament. So I first took these clear ornaments. These ones are just the plastic ones, again from Hobby Lobby, and I covered the top in this silk puffy paint kind of thing. And then we're just going to hit it against the table to kind of make all of the topping paint. I kind of globbed it on the very top, just kind of run down to make it look a little bit more natural. And you can also do this with other paints. This one is the Waverly chalk paint, which I do not recommend because it eventually cracked in the drying process. Maybe it was just too thick, but I think it was because of the chalk paint, because the silk one did not do that. Anyways, once we've got the desired look that we want, we're just going to sprinkle these little beads on top in the desired color that we want. And then to make sure that they dried properly, I just set them out on my railing overnight, and that worked perfectly. And for this next one, I went for those ribbon candies, the hard candies that you can see around Christmas time. I'm sure they're around all year, but Christmas is usually when I find them. So I took 2 pieces of ribbon, probably where it gets its name, and I added one of the smaller layers on top, just using hot glue. And then, of course, I heated up the edges so that they did not fray. And then I also did the exact same thing to the back side, so that they matched. Then I took some thread and I did pearls for this one, just some pearl beads, and inserted into one side, and then we're going to fold over and insert the thread through again so that the bead is in between one of the layers. This way it keeps the bead, or not the bead, but the ribbon separate from each other so that it can actually curve a little bit better than just being so stuck to each other. And then once we've got all of those added, I then just basically made a loop with the same thread so that we can hang it. Now this next one is definitely one of my favorites because you can use some scrap yarn or leftover yarn. First, I'm going to take some poster board or any board that's kind of a little thicker and make a circle. And then we're going to cut that out. We're then going to take a bunch of yarn. I did probably about 4 strands, probably about a yard long of each color. And did 4 strands just because my yarn was not very thick. And then once we've got those strands, we can tie them together, and then we're just going to basically twist them around each other, and then we're going to do one side and then do the other side just the same way, where we hot glue the center and then basically just twist it all the way around. And then once we've got it all twisted and are about to hit the edge, I just added a little bit of ribbon so that we can hang this. If you didn't want to hang this, it would also make a very cute lollipop if you added a stick to it. But then we're basically just going to hot glue the edges, just the little ends down I just kind of wrapped them around the very edges of another one just so that they're secured up there. And then that's it. That's all we do. Now these next ones are super easy, but I did want to just add a little bit of metallic to my tree. So I took some of these metallic paints and those cleared ornaments and inserted the paint inside of the bulb. And then once we've got enough paint, we can just shake it all around until the entire ornament is covered in the paint. And then we can tip it upside down to dry and let any excess paint drop out. But that's basically all you do for this one. Now this one is probably my favorite because I am just obsessed with hot chocolate and or coffee. So I first took this ornament that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was $4.99, so $2.50. And then I used some acetone to remove this little design, this little letter and wreath on the front. And once that's all removed, I took some dry foam just from the dollar store and added that inside of the little cup. And then I just took a paint pen and added some snowflakes all over this little cup just to give it a little bit of something, and so it's not just so plain. And then I took some dry clay from Hobby Lobby. This was $6.99 for this whole tub. And of course they have coupons too. But I made a little ball out of some of it and then squished it down using the bottom of this little cup so that it could be the top. And then that's what I used the foam for, so that I didn't have to fill the entire thing with this clay. I could just put it on the very top. And so that's what I did. I then used an X-Acto knife, but you can really use anything to puncture a little hole in the top so that we can string some ribbon through at the very end through that little hole that's already there so that we can hang this. And then I took some more of that clay and we're going to just roll it out and then make little tiny cubes for marshmallows. And then the marshmallows unfortunately did not stay where I placed them once they dried. And this drying process took about 2 days to do, which was kind of a long time. But then once it was fully dried, I painted the top brown to look like hot chocolate. And then I painted the little marshmallows white to look like marshmallows, of course. And then to get the marshmallows to stay, I just used some hot glue on the bottom and placed them where I wanted them. And then the very last step for this cute ornament is to add that little ribbon to the little hole we made. And then this last DIY ornament is kind of a personalized one. I made a cookie sheet with that dry clay that I got from Michael's, and we're going to roll it out to look kind of like a cookie sheet. Then of course we're going to actually make it look like a cookie sheet by using an X-Acto knife to cut into the shape of a rectangle. And then I used just a little bit of rolled out clay to line the edges a little bit. And I also made little handles, but one of them broke off before the very end, so I didn't add that part. But then I got these Dollar Tree little gingerbread men, and we painted those guys in the chestnut brown that we've been using all video. And then once these guys are painted, we can go ahead and design them how we want. I just did the same design for both, but I indicated a girl for myself and a boy for my husband using pink and blue beads for their gumdrops, and then added a little bow for the girl or myself. And then I think these would be super cute to add the names to. My name is kind of long, so I wasn't able to really add mine, so I skipped that step. But if you have shorter names, I think that would be really cute. Once the sheet was dried, the cookie sheet, I painted it silver. And then once the paint was dry, I went ahead and added the little gingerbread men to the sheet, the cookie sheet, by using hot glue. And then we're just going to add some ribbon so that we can hang it. And there's your personalized ornament. The final ornaments that I added for the tree were just purchased ones. These ones were from Walmart, and then these ones from at home. And then the final step is going to be this beautiful tree skirt. I took some Sweet Snuggle yarn and a 10mm hook, crochet hook, and we're going to make a loop. And then we're going to insert our hook and do 35 chains, which is wrapping around, pulling through to make one chain. We're going to do that 35 times. Once we are done with those 35, we are going to do half double crochets by inserting our hook into the second chain from the hook, wrapping around our yarn, pulling through, and then pulling through all three. So again, it's wrapping our yarn around, inserting into the chain, and then wrapping around again, pulling through, and then wrapping around again and pulling through all three. We're going to do 3 half crochets. Then once we get to the third, we're going to insert our hook into the same chain that we just used and do one more half double crochet. This will make it so that we can increase this row. So then we're going to do 5 more half double crochets. And at that 5th one, we are going to increase again by inserting our hook into the chain twice, or doing 2 double crochets in one chain. Once we get to the end of our row, we are going to chain 1 and then turn. And then we're going to do 3 half double crochets, again, just like the last round. And then when we get to that third, we're going to do an increased, so 2 half double crochets in that spot. And then this round, we're going to chain 6 half double crochets. And once we get to the half double crochet 6th spot, we're going to do our increase there. We're going to continue with this increase for each row. So the next row, the third row, will be increased by 7. The next row would be increased by 8, and so on and so forth until we reach the desired length of the skirt we want. Now I did an increase by doing the 2 half double crochets in some of the very last holes on my rows, but I definitely don't think you need to. It's just something that I did. Now once we've got 5 rows of the half double crocheted rows, we're going to switch to a double crochet. So the double crochets are wrapping your yarn around, inserting into the chain, and then pulling through 2, and then wrapping around and pulling through 2 again. So it's wrapping the yarn around, pulling through 2, wrapping yarn around, pulling through 2 again, instead of pulling through all 3 like a half double crochet. And then we're going to do that half double or the double crochets all the way through the entire rest of the skirt until you get your desired length. Once you do get your desired length and you're ready to be done, we're going to pull the last hoop through, cutting a little bit of the edging, tightening it, and then we can insert that leftover yarn into weaving it into the skirt itself, just so that there's no edging. And then that's it. And you have a really pretty skirt. And now that the tree is all done and decorated with ornaments, we are going to make some decor just for the bedroom. So I'm going to do 2 trees. And this one is going to be a puff tree. I've seen a few of them, and I have these puffs that I've made for a Valentine's garland, but I was unable to separate them. So I am now just going to take it apart and use them for this tree. But this is how you can make your own little puffs. Just add a little string into the center of a little cardboard, and then we're going to just wrap around tons of yarn into that cardboard. Then we're going to use that existing string that we used to tie it off. And then we're going to also tie off a piece of the center for all of the yarn to stay together. And we're just going to tie that really tight. And then once we've got it all tied, then we can take the yarn and cut it. And then once we've got all the puffs that we like, we can add them to this tree form. I have this tree form from Hobby Lobby, and I just started adding those to the form using some hot glue. And then I just alternated colors so that colors weren't necessarily next to each other for this entire thing. And looking at this tree, it definitely gives off Valentine's vibes because that is the colors that I used. But I think it would be way cute if I had done like the purples and the blues with it. Let me know if I should do another one with those colors so that it matches a little better. Isn't so Valentine's-y? But for this next one, I didn't use a form. I did my own tree. I just used some poster paper and basically cut it up and then rolled it to make a cone. And then I'm just going to hot glue the piece together so that it stays. Got it all hot glued and in place. I then just cut the edge so that it stays flat. And then we're just going to use the leftover sweet snuggle yarn that I used for the skirt, the tree skirt for this tree. And I'm just going to hot glue it all the way around. And then once we've got it all hot glued and it is done, you can add some little beads. I could not decide if I should or not, so please let me know in the comments if you are still around in this video, if I should add these little beads, because I really can't decide. I think it would be cute, but I also like the design of this tree without, so please let me know. And if you guys have stuck around to the very end of the video, you are a real one, and I appreciate you so, so much. And go ahead and give this video a like, or go ahead and subscribe if you aren't already. That really helps me and my channel. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Bye!